Hyundai has unveiled the 2022 Kona N. Now, Hyundai has proven that their N-line cars, such as the Veloster N, are some of the most fun to drive cars on a budget. So Hyundai's taken all that performance and put it into the N, including the same 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder that you will get in the Veloster, putting out 276 horsepower, 289 pound-feet of torque. Now, with the N shift mode, which is basically an overboost feature, the Kona will produce 286 horsepower. Now, if you do decide to use the N shift mode, it will give you 20 seconds of overboost, but when you do, it will require 40 seconds of rest time afterwards. The Kona N also comes with an 8-speed wet dual clutch automatic transmission. Sorry guys, there is no manual option. With this combination, the Kona N will do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds and has a top speed of 150 miles an hour. Now, the Kona comes in front-wheel drive only with a limited slip front differential. The Trans also has an N power shift mode, which is simply a manual shift mode via the paddle shifters, and an N track mode, which detects a more aggressive driving style and will hold the gears longer to provide the most performance possible for that particular situation. Now, other driver modes will include an Eco, Normal, Sport N, and Custom Drive settings, and adjust things such as the engine settings, stability control, exhaust valves, steering adjustments, launch control, and a few other options. Now, speaking of launch control, the launch control is standard on the Kona N. Now, the Kona N does also come with some lightweight aluminum steering knuckles, forged aluminum 19-inch wheels to help bring down some of the weight, and reinforced chassis and larger performance brakes. Even with these lightweight components, the Kona N comes in at 3,340 pounds, which ironically is still 65 pounds heavier than the base model Kona. But I guess we do have to expect a little bit of extra weight considering the turbocharger and other performance upgrades such as the larger brakes. Don't worry, I don't think anyone's going to notice the extra 65 pounds. Now, of course, the Kona N does get some styling cue changes as well, including a front lip spoiler, lower side skirts, double wing roof spoiler, and also gets a large center intake on the front of the car to help cooling of the engine and the brake system. All of which giving the Kona N a very much more aggressive and sporty look. Now, the rear of the Kona is just as impressive as the front, if not more so, because the back reminds me of a Veloster N, just taller. Which is good because I'm a big fan of the Veloster N design. It has a high rear diffuser, nice dual exhaust tips out the back with red trim around it, which is very attractive and yet aggressive at the same time, as is that rear deck wing that I spoke of earlier, which in my opinion makes the car. Now, if we move to the inside of the car, the Kona N looks very familiar to the base model Kona, with a few styling changes that may immediately stand out to you, such as the Sport N seats, and the very fancy steering wheel, which I'm a big fan of as well. Nicely leather wrapped, big 10 and 2 grip, nice 9 and 3 notches. You have the N buttons on the steering wheel as well as that nice big red N grin button. Now, behind the steering wheel, you have a 10-inch digital gauge cluster with a heads-up display. Now, the larger infotainment screen that would normally be optional in the base Kona is standard here in the Kona N. You'll also get a lot of your performance information via that screen. Now, the Kona N does get a lot of standard safety equipment such as automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, center blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic monitoring, adaptive cruise control, and automatic high beams. Now, I have not found the exact price for the Kona N, but they say it should be right around $35,000. Now, I have no doubt in my mind that Hyundai has turned the Kona into quite the fun performance crossover, but I have read of a lot of people complaining that they wish it were an all-wheel drive system, which does kind of make sense considering it is a crossover. They may have missed the mark there. I would love to hear your opinions on that one. Are you okay with it being front-wheel drive only? Would you rather it have been all-wheel drive and maybe tacked on another $1,500 or so for that option? In my personal opinion, I do think they kind of missed the mark here with not putting an all-wheel drive system in. I do tend to agree with a lot of the chatter online about that. The reason I say this is because basically the Veloster and the Kona are about the same size as far as interior space is concerned, and you can get better performance out of the Veloster. So I think the Kona should have had a little bit something extra to separate it from the Veloster, giving you something that the Veloster can't. Again, leave your comments down below on that. That is strictly my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Please don't forget to drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button on your way out, and I'll catch you in the next upload.